YouTube as well. Give me a moment if I can see. Is it live or no? Okay. So before diving into like an individual name that we're watching for this week, right? So I just want to go over through the indices, the what it is doing right now and what I'm expecting this week, right? So if you guys are following my accounts that I post every day on the morning updates, right? So as of right now, I am looking at two different counts on the market, right? In terms of elo wave structure. So the first one is this count, right? So where I was expecting a bounce on this liquidity sweep of 663. Same thing happened on Friday, and we got this move via our spy calls, right? So that was the one of the move that I was looking at it, and we got it, right? So now what's next? So with the momentum that we were getting on Friday, if you guys just take a look on the volume as well, right? Same on the 1 hour chart, right? So this volume structure that we got a perfect bounce from this consolidation back in October 16. So there was around like 15.36 million buyers, right? So from that specific buyer, we got a huge bounce on it, and we got to follow through on each and every candle after we retest the midpoint of that thing, right? So now what's next, right? So if you guys are taking just a look on this structure, right, and if you guys can see it, right, you guys can see properly see over here 1, 2, and we got a 3 to the down, right, 4 and 5 completely to the down. So that means we got a proper 5-wave structure to the downside that played out. So now we are getting a 3-wave structure bounce to the upside, right? So for me, in longer term, I am bullish in the market, but on the midterm, right, or just say for this week, so what's my game plan is to make sure that, so we might be getting a continuous move to the upside to like 680 this week, right? So it won't be like a straight line, but it will be moving like this over here, right? So it will go over here, come back, and then make a move over here. So for me, right, in order to call this point as a bottom for me, right, so I need a proper closure above 680 on a weekly on the market, right? So that will give me a confirmation saying that, okay, so this move to the upside was not an impulsive correction move. It is like a nice impulsive start for the upside, right? So there are a few different things that I'm looking at as of right now, right? So if I'm talking on the higher time frame structure, so for me, in order to be completely bullish, I want this structure to shift 681 completely with a nice volume on it, right? If that happens, then I can say that, okay, so this move to the downside was only the part of wave 4 and we're ready for the wave 5, right? So if not, there might be a chance that it might just come back down and sweep this liquidity of like 650 of October 10 lows, right? So if that happens, so that is my another bottom place that where I'm willing to buy a long-term calls of April or March, right? So that's my scenario as of right now. So if we are playing for the upside, right, so we just need to wait for a nice move on a daily, right? So because if we are scalping on a smaller time frame, I'll just wait for this structure to happen over here, right? So this block needs to be flipped out. So that will give us a confirmation that, okay, so we are continuously going up on the higher time frame, right? So, and also I just want to go over through one important thing. So I know most of you guys have been using the Baba Sniper thing, right? So one of the reasons that why I was long on Friday was this, right? So when I was looking at this dump over here, oh yeah, it's coming. So this is the thing that I was looking at, right? So when we're dumping on a Friday, right? So it was a clear dump. So we started a position somewhere over here. So we started a position on this candle, right? I was thinking that would be the bottom because on 30 minutes chart, I was saying that, okay, so this thing is a seller aggression thing. If you just take a look at it, right? But I was wrong, and it was coming back down. But when I see the buy signal on 15 minutes, I was like, okay, so that might be the point of confluence where I might start adding a position on it, so I increase my size, right? So one of the confluence on that play was like when I was looking at the hourly chart as well, it was at the point where there was a huge buyers presence, like 15 million buyers, right? So if you guys take a look on this thing, right, the whole dump from 687 has been caused by 16 million buyers, 16 million sellers, and over here on this bounce on the retest of this bottom, right? So we got a huge seller of like 13.66 million. So if we are equating only this seller with this buyer, right? So the buyer are winning on it as of right now. So that was my another confluence of why, hey, so I'm gonna play the bounce. So I play the bounce on Friday, right? So for me, in order to be quietly bullish and say that, hey, okay, so the bottom is in, right? Like I was saying, I need the proper flip of a structure of 680. That will give me the proper confirmation saying that, okay, so the market might be bottom for now and we're ready to move higher, right? If not, I'll just be waiting for this sweep of October 10 lows, where that will be my more confirmation, and I'll be adding a more position to my leap that I'm willing to open it, right? So there are a few names that I'm looking at which have so much of potential to run to the upside. So that's the SPY, right? Same for the QQQ as well. Same thing, right? So I'm just waiting for this structure to flip out. So it is, so as of right now, if you just take a look on daily, it is on the same block structure where there has been a ranges. So that means, so these buyers will be observed pretty soon and we will get a move, right? So there might be a scenario where we will sweep like this SPY structure, right? So it will just come back down over here, sweep it over here for a while, and then make a move to the upside. And same for the IWM as well. So if you just take a look on the structure on IWM, I have been tracking this triangle structure on it, right? So complete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one of the, so if you guys take a look on IWM compared to SPY or to QQQ, right? So one of the things that what IWM did was that IWM swept of the structure of October 10 lows, right? But the SPY and QQQ did not. So in my opinion, or if I'm just doing, so just based on the web perspective, right? So for me, the IWM is most strong indices among all other, right? So it does have a room to run so much of higher on respective of like SPY and QQQ. So it has swept this big candle low, turned the seller into the buyer. Now we're moving up, right? So what's next is, so for me personally, if I'm trading indices, right, I'll be more focused on IWM compared to SPY or QQQ, because I like this structure, that how it is firming out, right? The clean monthly structure breakout, and it is just been retesting it. If I just remove the drawing, right, if you guys can see it is just retesting this huge breakout that has been lasted since 2021. So the big moves are coming on IWM, right? So just be on the lookout for the small cap names, because it might have a room to run a lot compared to the high tech names, right? So that's my overall scenario on market, on talking of SPY, QQQ, and IWM. So on VIX as well, right? So I like to take a look on the structure on the VIX as well. So one of the things that what it did on Friday was this. So if you guys see it, right, so it's dumb to chart the VIX, but I normally take a look on just to see how the volatility works, right? So one of the things that on Thursday that triggers me to go on cash was because when I see this structure forming on the daily chart on the VIX, right? So because it is just like a huge buyer that has been coming on the VIX, and we were about to get the volatility up on that name. So that was the whole reason that I went to cash on the whole option account, right? And so most of the time I just track VXX, so that's the clear representation rather than VIX for charting, and it works perfectly fine on the charting perspective as well, right? So on VIX, on VXX, right? So there is two different things happened on Friday. So there was a nice gap, the imbalance gap that was firming out, right? So it got tested and we got rejected nicely. So now what's next? So I'm tracking this move on the VXX, right? So if this imbalance got filled and we got a more seller right now, there is a high chance that it might just come back down, right? So that would give us our ultimate rally on the market to 730 or 720. So that's the path that I'm looking at. But But keep in mind that there's a high chances scenario that the volatility will be super high on the market. So just be on safe side, right? And just be cautious. But for me to be a confident long on any play, right? Either I need a flip of 680 or just the sweep of this 652 on a daily. That will do the job for me to be confident enough to be long on our swing with the time, right? So that's the general idea that I do have on the market in terms of indices. Do you guys have any question on that thing? Anyone? Okay, so now I'm just gonna go over through the name that I'm looking at, right? So there are a few of the names that did wonderful on Friday, right? So wait, let me start from Nvidia. That was the perfect play. If you guys remember, I put out this chart saying that bottom might be in, right? So I just scalped it few, but so Nvidia might be working, and actually we might have bottom for this cycle before the earnings. So there is a high chances scenario that Nvidia can just run to 224, because if you guys take a look on bigger picture, right? So from this move, from this sale block, from this consolidation sale block, right? Just give me a moment, yeah. So from this consolidation that has happened for a month, and then we got a nice sell off, right? So if that was the 5th of 3rd, and this drop down was perfectly the 4th, right? So it came back to 0.382. Then if I just draw a fib from this high to this low and put the wave 3 to wave 5, 299 to 224 is still on the play. So that means this move over here is incomplete, right? So that means one more move to the upside is coming on this name pretty soon. So if you guys are just looking at the structure as well over here, right, on this name. So let me show you guys this, right? So there is this huge consolidation period that happened, right? It formed kind of a flag, and then we got a moon to the upside. Then we got a breakout of this consolidation. Then again it came back and did this small kind of consolidation with a low volume pullback. If you just put out the volume, you guys can see it, right? So it was a low volume pullback overall over here. So now, right, so there are two different things happening over here on this name. So first thing, right, so we got an island reversal perfectly over here, right, from this thing, and got a perfect rejection. But at the same time, when it came back down, it retested this whole flag and made a nice move, right? And what we know is from this impulse down, from this consolidation to impulse down, right? If we draw the fib, this move is still pending. So I have two scenarios on it, right? So either we're gonna bounce over here and retest this breakdown one more time and then come back down, right? But with the earnings coming up and with everything coming up, my money will be retesting 224 and then coming back, right? So I'll be looking at the scenario to build a nice position on it for the upside, right? If opportunity present. And not only that, if you guys see on 4-hour chart, right? Either the 4-hour, 5-hour, yeah. On 4-hour chart as well, we got a nice candle, right? A doji candle at the bottom of the trend from the downside. And also on hourly, I think, yeah, on hourly there's a huge bar that came up on this name. So I will be looking out to build a position on it for the upside, right? So most importantly, we will be opening a nice position on Nvidia or Tesla on 5K accounts that we've been building up. So Nvidia is one of my name that I'm looking at for the swing position to build up, right? So another name that I really like is PepsiCo. So I know so this thing is a laggard and it's been slowly grinding up, right? So if you guys see it, so we just made a nice move to the downside, right? And now it is just, so by observing this buyer, right? So it is just making a move, and this move to the downside is just a part of like wave 2 impulse down. So there is a high likely scenario that it might just base it around over here for a while, right? For a while, and then it moves to the upside. So this name, right? So this name can be a nice haze if market decide to move to the downside, because PepsiCo is like a great value stock, right? So where the people love to park money on during the uncertainty. So I really love PepsiCo as of right now, the way that how it is firming out. It's gonna be a slow play, right? But so it's a low beta stock play. So even if a $1 move can happen, you can make easily like 30-40% on the option. So Pep is one of the name, and I have been tracking Dave, right? So if you guys take a look on the weekly structure, this is just a perfect setup. Something is brewing on this name. We might be getting a nice $100 move on it, right? So I'm just waiting for the clear structure shift on today over here. So pretty soon this name will give us a nice entry on it, right? The way that, so if you guys see it, right, on all these candles are coming up with the huge volume. So that means some kind of news is brewing up. And if you see it, it's just like a huge base is firming out on this name over here as well. So just based on that, and with the huge buyer inflection coming up on this name, right? So there's a high chances scenario that we'll be getting wave 5 or wave 3, right? So if you just take a look on the bigger time frame structure on the weekly, right? See here that how we get the impulse up and down, then base it around like, and then we got a nice move to the upside, then again base it around, right? So looking at the history of this stock, if you see it, right, so it is just doing the same thing. Impulse move to the upside, then base, then again move, then base, then again move, right? So it is following the same script. So if I, where is it? Yep. If I just draw this pattern over here, right, from this to this, and then put it over here, right? So see here, so it is doing the same thing. It is following the same script, right? Impulse move to the upside, consolidation, and ready for the move to the upside pretty soon. So I'll be looking for this position because the options price are so expensive in this name. I'll be looking to position myself on this buy spread, because the spread can make a nice money on it. So that I can capture the all move to the upside on this name. So I really love Dave, that how it is firming out this structure, right? And another name that I'm watching is AAOI. So if you just take a look on the longer term thing, right? Let me take this out. So So one of the things that what it did during the earning, like we got a nice gap down, but it moved swiftly on Friday, right? So over here, if you guys see it, right, on this structure shift, right, it hold perfectly on weekly. So even though we gapped it down, right, but it claimed that structure on weekly and claim it back down. And if you go on the lower time frame structure, you guys can see it. There's a huge consolidation over here. So that means there's a huge buyer that has been sitting out over here. And see that how perfectly we bounced it from here, right? So moving forward, I'll be watching this name to build a nice long position with the confirmation on it. So for me, the trigger for the long side will be the proper close above 31 bucks on it, right? So that will give me the confirmation to be a buyer for the long term on this name. Because if you guys are looking at the Ilya wave structure from like 2022, right? So this move is happening on pretty soon. So the bigger three is coming into the play on this name pretty soon. And if I turn on the PBR as well, right? So 29.35 is the yearly PBR. So if right, so this week AOI is able to close above 29.335, then that might be a good play for the upside, targeting 43 bucks on it perfectly. So, and if I just turn on this thing, yep, there's a sell signal, and it still is there on 4 hour. So yeah, so on 4 hours, so there's a buy signal on it. So right, so there might be a scenario of this on that's happening on this. So going to this block, come back, right, base it around over here, and then make a move to the upside. So if you guys saw the chat or the takes that I sent it last night, right? So I was just running this strat on the Baba Sniper and fine tuning the parameter that we use for our code. So I saw that the 4 hour has been pretty much spot on. So for example, on SPY, right? If you guys say, so So this whole drop down on the SPY was, so there was a sell signal on it, and I've been optimizing the parameter, and hopefully pretty soon we might be, you guys might be getting a new version of this Bowei sniper pretty soon. So, and another name, right? So Google. I really love Google, how it's firming out, but one of the things that so if we just take a look on weekly, on daily structure, right? So this whole gap up over here from this to this is a peg structure, right? So that means it's a powerful earning gap. It is coming back down with a low volume on it, right? And if you guys see it, so the volume is less on this pullback, right? So what I'm expecting is, so there's a huge seller block on this name. So what I'm expecting is this, right? So this is gonna be a wait and watch kind of move. So I want this thing to do this, reject from here, from 281, come back from this midpoint on hourly around like 271, retest perfectly this hourly demand zone right over here. So on this candle, because if you guys see it, right, so this candle was a doji candle, and we got a nice move, and then we got an instant gap up on the earnings, right? So I want this candle retestment perfectly happen on this name, so that will be my point of interest on this name to start building a long position. Because in my opinion, right, in my opinion, the Google is just lagging, and it has not moved much compared to the whole market, right? I know it has moved it, but there is so much of move left on this name. So I'll be watching this move on it, right? Rejection of 282 to back to 71, then that might be the nice play. So one of the thing, if you guys, I don't know if you guys have read the text a while back on Thursday or something like that. So one of the thing that I noticed is this. Just give me a moment. Right. So there's this kind. So there's this thing. If you guys know it, it's a nil acquisition, right? So I just did this, and this, right? So every time when there is a 9p, we get a nice every time when there is a 9p on daily, either we get a nice pullback or consolidation, right? So I'm not expecting that, hey, we're gonna go into the bear market or things like that, right? So every time when you get a 9p, it's a signal that it might just pull back or consolidate for a while. So for example, on SPY as well, right? See here, we got a 9p at the top, then it fumbled back down, and that was my bad. I didn't even see this happening until over here, right? So, and same for the QQQ as well, right? So the 9p was on the top, then we'd fall down. So on the Google as well, I'm expecting same thing, right? So if I just remove all the drawing that I have, right? So see here that how it perfectly rejected on this label with the 9p on it. So there might be a high likely scenario that it will just come back down over here around like 271 and just stop it around. So that's where my interest is on this name to long it. And as you guys know, IBKR has been on my list for a while because of this volume thing, that how it's firming out. So pretty soon we might be getting the nice move to $100 on it. So I'm looking forward to build a nice position on it. So buy shares as well, because I was digging out the metrics on this name and it looks pretty solid. So I might just buy shares on it, or just a nice swing position on via leap as well, right? So another name that I am watching is PLTR. So if you just go on a daily chart, right? Let me just remove this drawing. So we got a nice earning, but it gapped down pretty badly on it, because so it was like a nice adjustment that has been happening, right? So if you just draw a trend line over here, one of the things that I was looking at. So whenever a market breaks out of this trend line, and if you turn on the volume, you guys can see it, right? So whenever a market breaks out on this kind of trend line with a low volume on it, and when it breaks out, right? So that's a clear signal of the adjustment that's been happening. So if you just take a look on the SPY or everything, right? Same thing happened on the SPY as well over here.
So like if the following sentence would fall into any other categories below.
Hey, someone mic is on.
Is a truth.
Someone mic is on, guys. I think it's green tea. Yep. So over here as well, right? So if you guys see it, see here how it break the trend line on the low volume, and that was adjacent gap, and we got dumped to the downside. So I was just reading all those patterns this weekend, and I found out same thing on the PLTR as well, right? So it fell down, right? But one of the interesting things that happened over here is this. So on this fell down, right? If you guys see it, it took out all the liquidity from this spot, and from this spot. So now, right? So only spot that's left on this liquidity is over here. But one other thing that you guys need to say over here is this, right? So this can. Wait, guys. Server mute. Yeah, I'm gonna mute. Sorry. Okay. So if you guys see it, right? So there was a huge demand zone over here, and we got a perfect bounce over here, right? So there might be a high likely scenario that it might just bounce from here and make a new all-time high. So based on my count, I do have on the PLTR, right? So this move to the upside around like 250 is coming pretty soon on this name. So I'm just waiting for the perfect entry on this name for the upside, right? So if you just take a look on the weekly structure as well, see here that how it bounced at this consolidation low, and we are closing above it, right? So now the next struggle on the PLTR would be, if I just remove all this indicator, right? So the next struggle on the PLTR would be claiming like 193.21. So if that happens, right? So it's just gonna grind slowly up to like 250 on it. So that's my optimal top on this name for this bull run. Then we might be getting a nice pullback to the downside around like 50% retracement. So that is the reason I really like PLTR over here for a nice swing trade. And another name is another name that I'm really liking is Goldman Sachs. The way that it has been basing around on the 9 EMA and everything, right? So on the weekly, it looks fabulous. So there might be a high chances or scenario that it might just break out of this whole flag and make a nice move to the upside, right? So if you guys see a similar structure over, so let me show you guys something. So just take a look on AXP as well, right? So it did the similar structure over here on AXP. So it was trending on 9 EMA for a while. Then we got a nice move to the upside, right? So I told you guys, I think it was on Thursday or Wednesday, that hey, AXP looks really good. So now GX has a similar kind of structure sitting up over here as well. So as soon as when 788 flips out, right? So there's a high chances that it might, right? So as soon as this structure flip out, right? So it does have a nice move left for this yearly pivot around like 846. So just be on a lookout, right? So I might be opening a nice play on this name pretty soon as well. The way that it has been setting it up, so there's a high chance that it might just go move to the upside. So and also let me take a look. Yeah, and if you guys just draw this, right? See here. Let me just remove this and this, right, so that I can show it to you guys. So see here, so there was a nice period of consolidation that happened, and we got saturated down to the downside, right? So now if we just take this high and take this low and draw the Fibonacci, right? So that means so there is a move to 866 that's pending on this name. So right, so that's one of the reason why it looks good. Another reason, not this one. Another reason why it looks good, see that how it's been holding 9 EMA and been consolidating above this huge block around 787. That's another reason. If you just draw this thing over here and this thing over here and just do this flag, right? See here that how it matched to around like same level over here, right? 866. So yep. So that is also one of the reason why it looks good. So because of the multiple confluences, right, like having a setup like AXP, the GS looks really good as well. So another name I am liking so far is this Boeing. Here's why, right? If you guys see the structure, right, let me draw this. So over here, this is a perfect structure retest of April 2024. See here, every time when it came and reaches that zone, we get swatted to the downside, right? So then over here, what happened? It swept this liquidity created a nice rounding bottom over here, right? And then it bounced perfectly hard to the upside. So now, here's the important thing that happened over here. See here? So there was a huge gap over here, and it got rejected same again on the gap, right? So see here that how it bounced, retested the gap, filled the gap. So there was a seller left over here. It tagged the seller, and that seller forced this thing to come back down. So now what's happening is this. So when those sellers were coming in the first over here, right? So we got a nice pullback, right? So on that pullback, what happened? It came and retested the structure shift of May 2024. So see here that how many times that level has been tested out. Where is my thing? Okay, just give me a moment. Is this the one? Yeah. See that? So there was 1 time, 2, right? And we got a nice spot down, right? So at the same time over here, so we found another structure over here, right? See here, and that structure has been brought up by this same consolidation. So here is 2 things that's happening, right? So it is retesting this April 2024 structure, created a nice mini bounce, but at the same time, the downside around like 186, there's this huge structure shift that's been happening on this name, right? So I'm expecting this, right? Either bounce directly from here to 240 or come back down over here, right? And complete this sequence to the downside and make a move to the upside. If you just draw a Fibonacci over here from this to this to this, right? And let me do it on the daily so it will be clear. Yep. So from here to here to here, right? See here the 1.618 extension, or let me put out the one as well. 1.272, yeah. See here. So if you guys see it, right, and if you guys were from the beginning, right, you guys can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5th structure is happening over here. So it's almost near to the bottom, and it will be producing a nice significant bounce on this name pretty soon. So that is one of the whole reason that I'm watching this name closely, right? So it will so as earning is also out of the way, right? So this can give us a nice swing opportunity, around like 100% play on it. So that is the whole reason that I'm watching Boeing as well, the structure wise as well. If you see it, right, so the yearly PBR is sitting around like 190 as well. So it looks.
जो है तो एडजस्ट आप लोग कर रही हैं,
हम लोग तो एडजस्ट कर ले रहे हैं, बाकी दूसरों का नहीं पता कि वो एडजस्ट कर.
Okay, thank you guys. So so the Boeing looks really good as well, right? And another name that I'm looking at is Microsoft. So this name has been beaten down to death, and Risky Bisky has also taken the trade, but got stopped out because of these stopped at 20%. But one of the things that I'm looking at as of right now, right, if I just take this out, so one of the things that I'm looking at on this name, that how perfectly it created a similar structure over here, and that makes the 3 = 5 move. So right, so I'm looking, if possible, if God is there, right, so there might be a high chance that it will sweep this liquidity of this buyer, and that would be my trigger signal for the upside move. So right, so when Microsoft it moves crazy, right? So same thing is happening over here, just being in the ranges and trying to consolidate, right? So I'm just waiting for this optimal trade entry zone on it. That will give me an opportunity to be a nice long-term buyers, or nice long-term swing buyers on it, right? So for me, right, so this move to the 5 to the upside around like 611 is still pending. So until and unless, right, so it broke down below 480, I'm optimistic about the Microsoft that it will make a new all-time high pretty much pretty soon on this name. So see here the 478 and 484. So I might be opening a trade if the Microsoft offer 484 with a stop loss below 477. That will give us a nice swing opportunity with a nice risk to reward ratio. So AMD as well, right? So I still think one more move to the upside is left on the AMD. Why? Because if you just take a look on this structure, right? So 3 and this is 4. I was just looking on the lower time frame, but it is just doing this channel thing over here, right? So, and if you just take a look on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this move is pending on it, right? So I'm not expecting it to go to 300, but I'm expecting at least it will go to this level. Where is it? 300 or 301, right? So yeah. So if tomorrow or this week, right, I get a nice confirmation the closer about to 39, that will trigger my long on it. So targeting around like 301 on it, right? So earning was splendid, and earning is out of the way now, right? So if you just take a look on, if you guys are on the group since the beginning, I have been saying that hey, the AMD has been a pretty much spot on buy. So my average on the series around like 90, right? So I'm not selling it until like 500 in 2000 till 2030. So it's an underdog name that I really like it. So for on the chip sector, and another name is Tame, right? If you guys know it, I've been tracking this name for a while, and now I think it's almost time to long it, right? So we got a dump that was necessary on this name because of this consolidation, right? So it is a perfect ads dump over here. If you guys see it, where is it? Yeah, if you guys see it, right, it was a perfect ads dump over here. So now it is at the important point where there was a retest of this structure, right? It undercut it as of right now, and we got a perfect bounce. So next week or tomorrow, right, what we want is this on hourly structure. If we get a proper confirmation closer of 73, that will trigger my long perspective. So I might be doing this, right? So if tomorrow we get a proper closer of 71, I might start a small position on it, right? And I will scale up my position at 73 breakout, right? So that will give me the room to run to 80. So that means over here on hourly structure, right? So I can reach $5 from 70, no, $3, sorry, from, yep. No, 72. Yeah. So $5, right? So I can reach $5 to make $9, right? So it's a pretty nice risk to reward ratio. But here's why. So it's not nice. I would say it's not pretty nice. It's not nice. So here's why I think this move is due on this thing, right? So if you just take a look on weekly structure, it is doing nothing but side of consolidation, pop and come back down, and pop and come back down, right? So now it just broke out of the huge structure, and it is just retesting it. So the risk is it might come back to 60, but on the upper side, right? So this move to the upside, if you just take account of this structure on this channel, right? So this move to 129 or 115 is pending on it. So right, so earning is out of way, everything is out of way, right? And now it looks really, really good. Just based on the structure on the higher time frame, right? I know it need to prove a lot on the lower time frame, but on a higher time frame, it looks really, really good. So that is one of the reasons that why I am looking for a nice confirmation on this name for the upside. So those are the names that I'm looking at for this week, right? Let me take a look on. Oh, another name that I am loving it so far is RBRK. I started a position via shares on it, right? So for a long term. So I have currently around like 100 shares on it. 100 shares on it, right? So my plan is to scale in slowly. At the break of like 76, I'll be buying more shares. But if you guys are looking to buy any shares for the long term, RBRK is one of the names that you guys need to take a look at, right? Same for HIMS. So HIMS as well, right? So I have a shares with an average of 45 as of right now, right? So I'm just waiting for it to buy it on a regular basis because I believe on this name for a long term, right? On short term, it might be cut because of the volatility that it might have, right? See here, so we played nicely on our wings swing over here, right? And it gets sold out because the CEO pumped and dumped it, right? But now when I'm looking at the higher time frame structure since its inception, right? So I can see that hey, how it's performing out. So there might be a high chances scenario that it might just come back to 34 34, right? So that would be my ultimate trigger to size it to 1,000 shares. So as of right now, I have like 500 shares. So that would be my perfect spot to size up to 1,000 shares, right? So if that happens, I'll be targeting at like 115 or 130 on it. So, and for me, if I'm playing a swing or a leap on it, right? So see here that how it perfectly bounced on 39.07. That was the confirmation, right? And also not only that, if you just turn on the PPA video of our thing, even on monthly, see here that how it came to 1.13 billion block, right? So that's a huge block since its inception, even since its IPO. So they're gonna be a move pretty soon on this name. So we just need to be cautious. So that is only the reason that I'm not sure about the timing perspective. So I'll be buying a shares for the long term, right? So if you are buying a shares for long term, right? So the cover call on this name are pretty solid, right? So for 500 shares, so currently I'm making around like $500 or yeah, $500 per week just doing the cover call, right? So it's pretty much nice name to own it if you're just looking for the wheeling as well. So, and when I turn on the swing setup, right, so it's currently on sale, but I want this to get flipped pretty soon so that I can get the more confirmation on it, right? So on weekly as well, it's on sale. I think it was on daily, triggered to the upside. Yep, but there was a stop loss breach. So I'll be looking to scale on this name pretty soon, right? And another name that I'm long bias here is Meta. Leverage on it at BL, right? See that how it swapped perfectly to this zone, right? The worst case scenario, it might just come back down over here, right? If I just draw this and put this template over here, right? So on worst case scenario, it will come back to 580, but for me, right? So there is a nice risk to reward ratio on this play. Why? If you guys take a look on this, right? See here, this impulse down on February, right? This top and impulse down to April from February. If you just put the Fibonacci on it, right? So that's my wave 4. And if you just do that and put like normal, where is it? Template, wave 3 and wave 5. So 1.618, right? So see here, this move has never been tagged, and that move is pending on it. So I have like I've been tracking this count since 2021 on this name, so it's been working perfectly fine, right? So we got a perfect bounce, retest, come back down for the wave 4. Now it's working for the wave 5. So pretty much on this thing, right? So if you just buy 2027 leap, if you have a big account, that will play out. If not, right, buy a shares of FBL or Meta leverage here. It should pay out nicely. So those are the names that I do have on my mind. If you guys have anything, we can go over through it.
I have one question about when you went over hymns.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you select the strike price that you sell your covered calls at?
So for me, so it depends on the people, right? So whenever I try to sell the weekly cover call, I look at the same few things, right? So one of the things that what I take a look on, normally I take a look on the liquidity wicks, right? So I know for sure that the hymns, if I take a look on 4-hour chart, right? So it will not be closing above 48 or above 49, right? So I'll sell $50 a strike, yeah. Or if I'm pretty sure that it will not be looking for like 46 close, right? So based on technical analysis, I just do that, right? So if you are doing that, you can just ask me. I can help you out on that one. But I just draw, so I just take a look on 4-hour chart and try to determine the weekly moves on it. So because, right, so I don't wanna sell my bag, right? Because I'm in the boat saying that, hey, the stock can double from here, right? So I just normally sell out the almost far out of the money option, right? So that for 500 shares I can just make like, so if I just make like $20 or $20 on 100 contracts, right? It's like $100 per week without doing nothing, right? So that's what I do it. So since the IV was so much of high on it, so I sold on the ER pop. So that was the reason I made nice money this week on the HIMS cover call. But most of the time what I do is I just take a look on the hour or on the 4-hour structure for the weekly cover call on it. So.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone? Neil, can you please take a look on CEG? CEG, what's CEG? Consultation. CEG, if I'm just taking a look on weekly, right? So looks like perfect retest. We got a nice bounce. So here's a huge demand zone that has been formed over here on this name that created a huge impulse move to the upside. And if I just take a look over here, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. If I just do this, I can see it. 2, yep. That's perfect, right? And then if I just do 1, 2 over here. Where is it? Yep, bounce perfectly from the wave to wave as well, right? So let me do this. So there was a huge block break. It happened over here. It's a structure shift, kind of like double bottom over here, but there was a huge imbalance that has formed between these candles, right? So it filled that twice and formed that. So there, it was not partially firm, so it retested it. So now here comes the important point. So when you come back down over here, right, it is retesting the previous all-time high of January 2025 and weakening it around. So if right, so just based on weekly, I think, right, so just based on weekly, so there is this liquidity sweep that need to happen, right? As long as 327 hold, there's a high chance that it might go to 413. But on daily, let me take a look on daily. On daily, right, I can see, so there's this huge adjacent consolidation that has happened over here, right? Supply, yep. So on this bounce, right, so there might be two scenarios that might be happening on it. So first thing first, it need to observe this block of sale on it, right? So it might just consolidate over here, flag it around, and make a move to the upside. If not, it will just do this, then come back down over here and retest this demand zone and make a move to the upside. Why? Because this demand zone on the weekly has never been tested out once it firmed, right? So it just did. Sorry? Someone talking? Hey, random, your mic is on. Yeah. So for CEZ, right? So you can play a bounce to 330, 388, but just be mindful that there is this consolidation that created this whole cascading effect on this stock, and we sold up, right? So if I just put on the pivot back, see that how it lined perfectly on 384, and also if I just turn it on volume block, there should be a, yep, so there is no sell volume on the higher time frame. Let me take a look on, yep, so there's a huge sell volume over here on 4 hour as well, yep. So just wait for this structure, right? So you can play a bounce till it go to 390, or you can just wait till this consolidation on daily can hold it and form a flag like structure on it. Coin, right? So let me take a look on Bitcoin first before saying something on coin, because Bitcoin is, wow. So coin, right? So one of the things that I was looking at this structure around like 270 to firm out so that I can long it, but it bounced perfectly from 288 on this weekly move, right? So now, so if you want to long it, right, so wait for this 314 to claim out on the daily or on the weekly, right, or even on the daily as well. So wait for this 314, 316 to claim out. That will open up the room for the higher move to the upside. Why? Because this thing has been on the sideways for ages, right? So wait for this structure to claim around like 316.30. That will give you a confirmation to the play to the upside. I'm just waiting for that thing to happen as well. So that will give us a room to play to 394 perfectly on that thing. So GEV, right? GEV. So GEV, it's flagging out, but so for me, right, so I don't know, because if you guys see over here, right? So it took ages to do this correction from this low, right? So that means there was a time correction as well as with the price correction, right? So based on the law of alteration on Elliott wave, right? So it need to be a price correction as well on it, right? So or at least the time correction. So for me, if I'm playing it, right? So I'm just waiting for this structure to happen, but I don't know it will ever happen or not, the way that it has been firming up. And if I just turn on the EMAs and everything, oh, it's below the EMA right now. Okay. So, right, so if I want to long, either I need to claim all these 9 and 20 on EMA, but for me, if I am personally want to long on it, right, I want this structure to test out around like 464, because this thing has been on a tier since its IPO, right? So I just want some kind of consolidation, and from back down, that will give me the clear structure of like wave 4 on it, right? So that I can long with nice confirmation to the upside. So it's personally, it's not my setup, because see here that how it's below yearly PBR as well, right? It has never tested out this PBR, right? So hopefully if we get a retest of this thing, I'll just long it. But if you want to long it, wait for the flip of 600, right? With a proper confirmation, you can move to 662. So RDTT, Reddit. So on Reddit, right? So if you guys take a look on the structure of this thing and tame, I think it looks similar kind of a structure over here, right? So there you go. This move is pending on it. So if you want to long it, right? So one of the things that I can clearly see over here, see there. So there was a huge block over here that produced the cascading effect of this stock, and we sold up from like 229 to 84 bucks on it, right? So now that structure has been tested out from upside and from downside as well. So as long as, right, the weekly holds around like 189, so there might be high chances that it might just move to the upside. But at the same time, if I want to long this name, right, so this name moves like a penny stock. So for me personally, it's hard for me to trade. But I was looking at something this weekend, right? So on my system, I am seeing so much of flow on this name. So I don't know what's brewing on this name. I think yeah, the earning is out of the way as well, right? So for me personally, if I want to long it, right, so I will just wait for this. Wait, why did I draw this one? Just give me a moment. Nah, that level hasn't been priced out. Just give me a moment. Right, so this is structure over here. Yep. So now if I want to long this name, I would turn on the PBR on it, right? So it performed perfectly. So for me, if I want to long it for the upside with the confirmation, I would just wait for this thing to happen, right? The close of 217, that would trigger my upside on it. So why? So that is one of the PBR on it, right? So not only that, it will claim this structure that has been safted down on this move to the downside. See here. So if I want to long it, wait for the structure of 217 to flip out, then that would be the perfect scenario to go long on it. So SHLS. What kind of name is this? So did we change the structure? Let me come on, man. Nope, we did not. Let me turn on the algo for this name. So there was a buy signal on $3, so it's almost, the move is almost done. And so I don't know what this company does, but just looking at the higher time frame structure, if you want to long it, wait for this structure to shift out. $9, right? That can give you an opportunity to long to this block over here. Because I don't have much of data on it, right? That I can draw the Elliott waves based on the higher time frame chart, so I'm not convinced on this name, right? So this name reminds me like those rare earth name. When it falls like a rock. So I don't know, man, what this company does, but if you want to long it, just wait for the flip of 935 properly. JS, right? So yep. Oh, this looks really good. Oh wow. Does it have earning? No. When is the earning? Number 26. Oh wow. Oh wow. So one of the thing, right? So I think G is killer. It's a cyber name, right? So yeah. So one of the thing that I'm bullish on cyber name. So that is the reason that why I'm buying RBRK, because it's an undervalued name, right? But just looking at the stocks on the J killer as well, right? So it just have a one more move to 361 left and then come back over here and just make a move like this to like 540. Right, and also if you just take a look on PANW, I think there was a monthly breakout. Yep. So the PANW also looks really good, right? So one more move to like 60 bucks move is left on this name as well. So right, all the cybersecurity theme looks really good. G scalar also looks really good the way that it has been buying out, right? So the spread of this candle are so low. Let me turn on the volume that to see it. Yep. See here. The spread of this candle are so low while the volume is ramping up on all these names, right? So see here this thing. So there was a nice spread on it. It is moving to the upside. So now it is at the point of like 100%. So that also matches with the 1.618 extension of this move to the downside. So one other thing, let me turn on something as well. Yep. So the TP3 is completed at 347. Wow, man. I need to make a scanner that throws out the buys on Baba Sniper to our group on weekly and on monthly. So yeah, so there might be high chances that it might just move to 361 right before the earning as well. So yep. And Nike, not much of change. We're in the position. It's a small position. See that how it hold and close above my stop zone around 61. Right, so far so good, but I need a confirmation on it pretty soon, right? So if I'm looking at this whole structure to the downside, right, so I'm considering this as a wave 2, so 0.618. So that is the reason that I'm giving a little bit of wiggle room for this to play out, right? And with all those things that's happening in the market, right, so the consumer sector has been really weak, right? So if right the market decided to SAFT, so the money will rotate to consumer sector, right? So that is one of the reasons that why I have like FCX, Walmart, Nike, and yeah, Walmart, Nike, FCX. So those are the three names that I have on my port right now that can act as a haze for the whole market drop down if that happens. So while talking about that, Monday I'm going to do the HIMSS cover. Don't do HIMSS cover call on Monday. Wait for a few days to see the price action, because I'm expecting market to go up on Monday and Tuesday, and then it might come back down on Thursday and Wednesday, right? So one of the name that I'm really interested is LMT, right? So me and Walktrhough were talking about it. So there's a guy on the Twitter, if you guys know it, right? So we're talking about on the channel, on the behind channel, the LMT looks really good, because if you guys see the structure over here, right? So the 3 top to the 4 down, this is the wave 1 and wave 2 is firming on it, right? So if you guys want to buy stock, this stock has a lot of room to run. If not, right, so you guys can buy a spread or even the long sweep on it if you guys have a big portfolio, right? So I'm looking to build a position on this name as well. I don't know why I forgot to put it on my watch list, but it looks really good. I am just waiting for the confirmation to play out, then I will be triggering my trade on it. So in it. It looks really good over here, right? If I just take a look on this thing, just got safted down on the weekly distribution, I think. Yep, right. So but now coming to this structure over here, right, so it is just retesting this breakout. It retested perfectly over here. If I just do that and So one more move to the upside is pending on it, but if I just take a look on it, right, it's 1, 2. So this might be 3 and 4 is playing out over here, and 5 might be like this, right? Because if you just take a look on the daily structure over here, right, see here, it is just forming this channel over here and doing, come on, into 3 days, so it's gonna be a perfect structure. Yep, on 3 day it is just doing this, right? So this reminds me of Tesla structure where it was doing the 5 wave to the downside, right? So and being consolidation and doing the price formation, because if you take a look over here, right, so it's just this candle, right? So this is the wave 2 of this whole impulse to the upside. So it was short in duration, right? So now it is just taking a long time. So as long as 132 holds, you can be bullish on it, targeting like 157 for the midterm. So right, yep, 131.97 we got a perfect bounce, 155. Yep, so you can do that on the A-net on the higher time frame structure as well. So let me take a look on something on this one. So the smart money is not buying, but there has been a buying, it got stopped out. So let me take on volume. There is no buyers. Let me take on trend. The 9 EM and 20 EM is down. Right on daily, let me see it. It's down as well. So yeah. So for A-net to be bullish on it, right? So you just need to bounce and claim this 141. So that's a huge volume block on that name. So just wait for that one. GIS, I think Mando is long on this name, man. So this whole structure is broken, and I'm not sure that how this is gonna play out. So I'll not even touch it, but just looking at this structure, right? So if something is falling, just let them fall. Don't do anything, right? So over here, see here, that was the inflection point, because that was the previous supplier. So this was supposed to be a demand zone, right? See here that how it bounced promptly from this to the upside on this sell up, right? So now that whole demand zone is supply now, right? So there might be high chances this might happen over here. See here, this, you got the structure retest and bounce perfectly, right? So now, so come on, what? Sorry guys, something happened. Sorry. Just give me a moment, guys. I don't know why my trading view decided to die. Okay, let me fix that on the OS stream as well. Where is it? String YouTube Studio, not that one, not that one, not that one.